What's up, people? Welcome to Quit for What, the Hangout. I'm your host, Ramon Jamal. And as you can see, we got
Kim
in the building. How you doing, Kim? You good?
I'm good.
That is what's up. And today we have a very, 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 very special guest in the building. We got Brian Parana with us here today.
Brian.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So look, it's wild because me and Brian go way back. Right? Yeah, and it's from when I first started doing these live broadcasts on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know if we was on Facebook at that point. I think Facebook came later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if Facebook was doing a live thing at that point. But yeah, so this was in 2015. I did a 24-hour live stream. You know what I mean? 24 hours. And I set up guests to come in each hour. Yep. And you were one of my guests.
Yep. I appreciate it having me back.
Yeah, I appreciated you coming through.
You came on TikTok and I was like, oh, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I'm still doing this.
Still going.
Great. Let's go. So am I. I'm still doing what I've been doing.
That's it.
Since then.
So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Quit for what?
Quit for what?
It's perfect.
Yep. I love the name.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So look, this is what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm about to show y'all real quick. So this is me and Brian. Okay, from 2015, and this was in December, I'm sure.
Yes, I hope so. I do. After Thanksgiving, I start donning the Santa hat. So,
but yeah,
yes,
that's from 2015, and that was a room on the side of my garage that I was doing the show from, and
wow.
Yeah, it's a testament to the Quit for What. Yep. Movement.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So for you, Brian, and for me.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Right?
Yep.
So yeah, we've been doing this for quite some time, man. So yeah, Brian, you are a 40-year-old.
41 now.
You know what? That's why I said it like that. I was thinking, I was like, yeah, okay. So a 41-year-old health coach.
Right.
Right. Married to your high school sweetheart.
Yep.
With 20 years in the nutrition and fitness industry.
You know it.
Right?
Love it.
Yeah,
Every day.
So experience in group fitness, personal training, CrossFit gym ownership, and remote health coaching.
Yep.
Okay. And you help entrepreneurs and business leaders reclaim their health without sacrificing their businesses and especially their families.
Yes,
right.
Very much. Especially the second part, father of four. Mm-hmm. It's important to show up for your family.
Yeah,
that's right.
So,
and you got to be healthy.
Got to be
in order to be able to show up for your family and other things as well.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can see how you can get caught up. Especially in business and let your health go. You know, it's like you take on these things that you know you want to do, and then, you know, you look back and you done gain a lot of weight or whatever it may be because you've been focused on growing your business and not taking care of yourself. So that's where you come in.
Grows too.
Yeah.
Even if you gained 1 pound a year. Over the course of 20 years, you're 20 pounds overweight. Whoa, hold up. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Right.
Right. And your clothes aren't fitting anymore. And it's just been slow over time.
Yeah.
And certainly in the past couple years, we experienced the unfortunate COVID and quarantine.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself was an acute issue that caused a lot of health problems, health concerns, lack of movement, and it really expedited some of the health concerns that people were dealing with. Physical, mental, and emotional too.
Oh, for sure. My guy Jermaine G. Code is on TikTok. He said, let's go. He said, I need to holler at my man. He need to get with you, Brian. So we're going to make sure that everybody know how to get in touch with you before we jump off of here for sure.
Me too.
You know.
Happy to help. Happy to help.
So, Brian, I want to, ask you a couple things off script, okay? Because I know I asked you to
some questions,
to send in some questions and whatnot. But let me ask you, like your upbringing, your household dynamics. Like what was it like? Where did you grow up, and what was your household dynamics growing up?
Okay, great question. I haven't had one of these in a long time. So, growing up, I was actually not too far from where your studio is at.
Okay,
in Ellett. And growing up, I was a happy, healthy boy, and I really enjoyed being athletic. I thought I could be, a baseball player, and just couldn't really hit the ball so well. Couldn't connect. That was a couple of summers, and then loved basketball. I'd shoot baskets in my backyard, even by myself for hours. And tried to play basketball, and I couldn't catch a ball.
Okay.
When it came down to game time, it was someone passed me, and it just didn't work out so well. Then it progressed, and my buddy asked me, a longtime friend, he's still a friend of mine, Dan, hey, do you want to come run with me track? And I was like, okay, I guess so.
Okay.
And since then, it really transitioned into the love of movement and exercise and fitness. And that was kind of the beginning of the professional career, in a sense, the seeds that started growing.
Yeah.
As far as just my household, I have a younger brother. My mom and dad, they were fortunately divorced at an early age and raised with my mom. So my grandma was a huge person of influence in my life. Okay. And I now live like a mile where her house used to be.
Okay.
But over in Copley. And that's what really shaped some of that. I focus on education. I just liked, not saying being smart, but I liked doing the work and getting good grades. Okay. So did that. And ended up finishing top 10 in class, which was somehow, I don't know, just ended up doing that. And just in general, felt pretty happy, pretty taken care of in going up through high school.
There you go.
Moved in with my grandma. She was fortunate enough to pay for my college, and it kind of fostered that relationship. I was there to help do the household chores and stuff. She'd give me $20 to mow the lawn, and I felt like it was the fastest money ever. I'd be out like speed mowing.
That's exercise
grandma's
too.
quarter-acre lot in Firestone Park, and be like pushing it really fast. And like, I can get this $20 in 20 minutes. Yeah. So ended up coming up with the exercise in my freshman year. Okay. I was on a walk-on track team, cross-country team, so I was doing that and participating in just general studies, and stumbled into a building that ultimately they had this display. The display had all these different jobs related to exercise. Okay. Said, I can do that one. I could do that one. I could do that one. That one. I could do all these.
There you go.
What do I need to do to sign up for this? And that became the next step in this line. So that's kind of where some of this a bit about on me. I was a Boy Scout. Okay. I don't know what else.
So let me ask you. So the track thing, was that like junior high or high school?
High school. Yeah.
High school.
Yeah, we didn't have opportunity in junior high like they do now. I've had my kids run cross country in elementary school. Okay. And so those kids are pretty involved.
There you go. Yep. So that's why I wanted to know, like, was there anybody like in your immediate family that was into sports and health and fitness or anything like that? I know you said your friend is who hit you up with that, but
it was my friend.
Your friend, okay.
My family was generally healthy in a sense.
Yeah.
But they weren't active to the same situation where I'm at. If my kids look at me and when they talk about who I am as a person, they're going to identify with me as being a father that was active, took care of himself, ate healthy, drank his water. He always had to pee on our road trips. It's like,
right. Gotta pull over.
Gotta go. Yeah. The nice thing is, so we drive. My wife loves to travel, and I'm just so grateful for it. We've traveled most of the states of the U.S. and even internationally. We just wrapped up Finland looking for Santa Claus above the Arctic Circle. But I can use especially my second son, Everett, I can use him to pin having to go to the bathroom on a little bit more now.
There you go. So now your kids are seeing your lifestyle and how serious you take it. So that's going to translate to them
It better.
Right. No, I'm about to say,
So.
hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right.
So they'll, take care of themselves.
Yeah, they don't need to be like fitness maniacs or
No.
run marathons or do crazy stuff. But the oldest is 14, 8 is the youngest, 3 boys and a girl. And to just help inspire them that they live an active, healthy lifestyle is really important. So
Right.
they have the energy, the confidence, they're bold. They can go out and do and be productive and accomplish things in their life, which is important.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That is awesome. So let's get into the questions that we have here. Okay, and this is helpful for every last one of us. I know I need it, y'all. Just before we do this, I showed y'all I just put my treadmill together that I had since October of 2022. But hey, better late than never. Don't you do that face count. Don't you?
He knew he was gonna be in trouble. He didn't have it together this week.
So I had to do it.
he's like, "Oh, Brian's coming. I better get this set up 2 years later."
I had to do it, man. I had to do it. So yeah, what are common problems business owners struggle with when it comes to their health? What do you find that's common to business owners?
Well, number one is the focus, the intention on work, on obviously growing their business or their idea, getting it out into the world, launching it. And so then all the focus goes there.
Right.
They sacrifice, they skip meals, they stay up late, they get up early, they're doing all the things they can in a day. Even if they're delegating and stuff, they still have more work to do every single day. And so it's this mountain of effort that needs to happen. So they focus on that and they lose track of their health.
Right.
They just skipping meals, not drinking enough water, not moving in the day. Those are just really basic fundamentals that we need as human beings to take care of our body.
Right.
And it's just not even on the radar sometimes.
Yeah.
Or if they travel. I have a number of clients who travel. I've got 2 that are going to be in Mexico. Actually, they work together and they'll be in Mexico. One's for 2 weeks, another one's for a week to join them down there. Those take extra considerations around the food provided, the schedule of the day, the timeliness of how you're going to manage your schedule.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking about it, you're just going to work.
Right.
But we want to go to work, but also have a little fun too. Go walk on the beach at least, down in Mexico, for that example. Or let's not just go from one airport to another, just picking whatever the fastest, cheapest, easiest, or whatever, or the lounge has to offer for you.
Right.
We can make better decisions with the opportunities that are there.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that's how I got my gut. The gut that I have right now.
Well, I mean, look at this, what you've been putting together here, right? And we'll just say this, it did take you like 2 years to put the treadmill together.
I know, right? Get on me. I appreciate it. I need it.
Yep. And now the cool thing is the treadmill is, say, a conduit to activity.
Yeah.
You can do that whether it's raining out all day today, it's freezing cold, it's super sunny, or Kim comes over and hangs out, and we even watch a movie or something. You can walk and be active regardless of what is the situation. Or you're after hours editing our little thing, you can be on your iPad or something, walking away and burning calories.
Yeah. So basically what Brian is saying, I have no excuse.
Not anymore.
I have no excuse. So
None.
Right. So I definitely have to get on it. I've been jumping on in the morning, but I'm thinking to myself, if I'm jumping on in the morning, I'm going throughout my day and I'm eating and doing all this stuff. So I need to probably jump on in the evening too. So it's probably twice a day needed.
Yep.
Right?
One thing with that is you don't have to do a large chunk of time at any specific time in the day. If you have time, like say, clients, they might need to get up at 5 or the more the bigger the business, the more challenges and things that need to be managed in the
Right.
day, they might need to wake up a little bit earlier to have that time to be able to do that. So then that might be their time of the day. But in your situation, if you just walked some here, some here, some here, and they're broken up in the day, it can end up ultimately making calories burned or even more. Movement is energy.
Yeah.
You will gain energy by being more active, getting blood flow, and you'll be more productive as well. I like the step tracker here, and 10K steps is a really good number to get to on an average, whether it's in a day, but over the course of the week, if you get those steps in, they could just be an easy, like I look at it like, oh, did I get 10K or not? And that can help you adjust your time on the treadmill or just walking around outside as well.
I like that. Movement is energy.
Yeah.
Just if you think of it that way, you talk about like not having energy. You gotta get moving.
Yep.
That's to fill your tank up.
Everybody, as long as they don't do crazy workout, feels better if they move. They get the endorphins going, the blood is pumping and circulating, and their body feels more engaged.
Right.
That's why I like morning workouts.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like it pushes you. You know, you get up dragging, but once you get that going, that fuel you get, like, as soon as the workout is done, it's like, all right, bet. Now I can get this day done because I feel great. You know, I did a little workout and I feel amazing. So, I think it definitely gets the blood flow moving in the mornings.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of to our next question. We kind of touched on a little bit. Why is it hard to prioritize their health juggling all the responsibilities in their day? So you kind of touched on it. You know what I mean? A lot going on. Traveling, just a lot of things you got to take care of, especially if you have employees.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've had some that have had 500 plus employees.
Right.
Some have small teams, some are solopreneurs in a sense. Those are things that we have to take into account. Their responsibility for these other people or these other families. A lot of them identify with them taking ownership of taking care of this family of the employee. That's important that their team is working together and efficient and productive. And if it's not, that weighs on some of the clients.
Yeah.
Right? And then it costs more mental energy away from being productive.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I was just thinking, because when you were talking prior to this last question, when you were talking about prioritizing and being able, like, probably most of the people you deal with have that hard time trying to figure out, well, how am I gonna get these steps in?
Right.
But one of the things like I do at work is you can actually, like, let's say you have to send an email. We send emails all day long. But what if you could just get up and take it to that person versus sending the email?
Right.
Because I find reasons to get out of my seat.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll be like, oh, well, such and such desk is way over yonder. I'm going to get up instead of sending her the email or calling her. I'm just going to get up and go talk to her. Yep. So I feel like I did something because I'm sitting all day. So I find reasons for me to get up and move instead of sending an email. Just take it, and so that way you feel like you're getting some steps in. You know, it's just another way of coming up with an idea to be able to do something.
Here's one thing that we absolutely know: as a human being, you can't be productive for 8 hours in a row.
Yeah,
you glued in, staring at a screen or whatever you're doing, or at your phone. You have to have some downtime scheduled in to be more productive in the bigger picture. So you getting up and going to connect with someone, creates more rapport with that person, connection with that person, trust in that person, to then have a better relationship. And then any work stuff or whatever, it just flows a lot easier for them. So
and communication with people. Sometimes emails are okay. We know technology has gotten, so far advanced. But sometimes we need to be a little old school and go knock on your neighbor's door versus sending an email, picking up the phone, because that's what they used to do. Let me go talk and visit with the neighbor. So I had to walk and go to the neighbor's house versus, girl, I ain't coming over there. Just pick up the phone and call. You could just go. And then that way you're still getting some exercise in and some movements. You, like you said, burning calories. It's little stuff that you do can help burn calories.
It adds up.
Yep.
It adds up. Just the other day, I had two people that actually they both said like the same thing to me in two different situations. Talking about those treadmills, the little small treadmills that you could put under your desk.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh.
Wait, they got that?
Yeah, but you got to be standing.
Pads. You could.
Yeah,
I could be technically walking right now.
Right now,
be sitting your head bobbing back and forth, being distracting for your viewers.
Yeah,
I like that you're standing though.
Oh yeah,
that's what's up. I like stand-up desk for sure.
Yeah.
I don't sit. This is the most I probably sat all day.
Okay. Yeah.
I take phone calls on my feet. I walk.
Yeah.
I'm just moving.
Constantly moving.
Outside of driving my kids to school, what seems like 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
To go pick them up or drop them off for their activities or after school.
Right.
Yeah, it's just moving.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps me energized. Keeps me thinking. Clarity too.
Oh yeah. I'm a stander. I'm a walker. I'm a pacer.
That's great.
I'm telling you, I'm on the phone. I'm pacing through the house. My wife looking at me like, "What is wrong with you?"
I always joke if I actually lived in a neighborhood, I have a little bit more of a remote home setup. It's just 2 neighbors. It's just we're on the back of a farm. It feels tucked away. We're only 5 minutes from Montrose. Montrose.
Yeah.
We're just down the road. So there's a lot of people live in our neck of the woods. But when you are there, it's quiet. It's calm. I just walk up and down the drive so many times. Sure, surprised there's not like a worn pathway on my driveway. But people would probably think I was crazy if I was in just a residential area walking up and down and around the block. Like, this guy's talking to himself. I got headphones in my ears. And I usually wear like a beanie in a sense to keep the wind. But
and you talking with your hands. So they like,
right.
Dude.
Like something's wrong.
Get the robot going on.
But yeah, that's Kim, some good points of things that you can do to keep moving.
Right.
Things that we don't think about.
Yeah.
People talk about how they can't get their steps in, but no excuses, Kim.
I
That's
know.
good.
Mine came up from when I was sitting at work and I just was tired of sitting.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it gotta be another way to get out this seat.
There you go.
So I was like, I'm not gonna send her no email. I'm gonna go knock on her door.
There you go.
And I was like, ever since then, I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like all day,
Yeah.
I gotta get up and do something.
And it's wild, y'all, because honestly, each question we touched on it before we even get to it.
Natural segue.
Yeah.
Huh?
So the next question is, what are 2 or 3 easy tips for an entrepreneur to stay more productive in their day?
Yeah.
You know?
We've covered walking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Other things is making sure they're managing their schedule, managing their emotions and their mental energy, where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
I would say managing their nutrition.
Yeah.
Most importantly, because you are what you eat in a sense. And if you're eating healthier foods that have some level of consideration before you put it in your mouth, like you picked it or you curated it on some level, you're going to have a way better, it's going to get back to you.
Right.
Which then you can keep moving. Because everyone I've ever worked with is always busy. Right? You both could probably claim that title pretty easy too.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not an excuse because everyone's busy. I hear it all day long. So how do we start actually finding solutions to the busyness that you're experiencing and then implementing those consistently over time?
Mm-hmm.
So you look better, you feel better, you're more productive, your thoughts are more clear, you can take more decisive action, which creates bigger impact and outcome, because that's ultimately what the impact is of a business and why you do it in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the impact in the community or the product or the service that you're doing. You want it to create change so that people like what you have to offer and you're making money. Right?
Yeah.
And you're obviously ideally doing it for the good of humans.
Yeah. And that's again kind of the next question of the nutrition thing. Like what should they focus on most and why? Fitness or nutrition? Okay. So I'm gonna let you answer, but I got some thoughts. But you go ahead. You the professional.
How long does it take you to burn 200 calories walking? You know?
So how long?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm gonna get real technical.
What do you think?
Okay. Kim in the
Sorry, I was checking the thing to see if I
making sure we're good.
missed nobody else's questions.
Yeah. She's doing the background.
Right.
Yes.
But so how long do you think it takes to burn 200 calories? Right.
Walking.
Yeah. I mean, how long,
how long
to burn? Oh, I'll probably say maybe a mile.
Yeah, but time.
Time-wise?
Time-wise.
You could probably do it in like 30 minutes.
Close, 45-ish.
45 minutes.
You got a
Yeah.
nice brisk arms moving.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
what do you think?
So
Somewhere in that range?
Well, I was thinking, I didn't know for sure. I don't even know if I was going to say a number or not, but you said walking.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about like running,
Right.
you would burn it faster, right? So you said 45 minutes walking,
Right.
running 20 minutes.
Yeah,
30
it's totally
minutes?
good. As humans, we're always looking for the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
If you're running, you might get sweaty. You got to
Yeah.
change your clothes.
Yeah.
Your heart rate gets up. There's a lot of other things that go along with you actually being in locomotion in a sense
Right.
in that
Yeah.
situation. So running, yes, we can burn more calories. Running is an active way to move, but everyone can walk no matter
Yeah.
what
Or where
So-
you are.
or where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So 45 minutes to
45
burn
minutes.
200
So
calories.
this is a setup, okay?
Okay, I
The
knew it
question's
was
a setup.
something.
So how long does it take to eat 200 calories?
You could eat 200
2
calories
bites, right?
in like a bite.
Yeah, exactly. Like 2 bites. So the importance is always going to be on nutrition, on what you're eating and how that's going to impact your energy, your, again, the things that we've been talking about, mental focus, and having a thought out plan or structure, or system. A lot of my clients like the word system or say key performance indicators, some of those that get the ROI, the return on their investment of their time to eat food, and what is that going to give back to them. We want more than just calories. Everyone can get calories. It's free. You can go right next door and buy yourself down 100,000 calories or in the corner convenience store. Right.
Right.
Well, probably 1 million calories are down there, and you can buy them all, and they're not going to serve you the way having just better balanced meals. So as we break down nutrition, to its simplest form, we're looking at 2 things: food choices, portion control. When it's all said and done, that's what we're thinking about. And then the third component of all this is just movement.
Yeah.
So if we're paying attention to moving, then we can stay energized. But food choices we want to pick, we don't have to do all organic or something like that, but we generally, I like working off of some protein, some fibrous carbs. That's generally just vegetables, fruit,
Yeah.
and then some starches. Yes, you should eat starches. The human body runs off carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are energy, and we need them. We just need enough that aligns with the activity levels and the energy that you're burning in a day-to-day. Most people get that wrong. They just eat too many calories or carbs, and then they want to just blame them. It's rice and bread and pasta and all those things.
Yeah.
You should be able to eat them and still have a productive day and not have to worry about scale creeping up every single time you step on it. So it goes to the second one, portion control. And when we have better balance of some proteins, lots of vegetables, some fruit, some starch, and monitor the fat, that becomes a really good recipe for you to put food on your plate in those typical categories.
Yeah. So basically, it's like you said, your clients, they love the systems,
Yes.
right? So the word systems. So you have to, it's meal prepping, right?
Yeah, in a sense, some people have time to do it. Others don't. Others delegate it to, say, a chef or a meal preparation service like a Factor or HelloFresh, they send you food, but you have to prepare it. Then you can go to Chipotle or, a fine dining restaurant to get food.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to communicate to the people that are serving you this food and understand what it is that's going on your plate, you're not going to get the ROI in a sense, the return on that calories to equal productive energy in your body and in your focus.
Yeah. So, and then too, just came to me just thinking about, meal prepping, right? And I think you can look at it as, okay, you think of meal prep as a physical, like you're prepping the meal for the day or the however, the week or whatever, but mental meal prep. So what you're going to go and eat that is good for you, healthy for you, where not to go.
Right.
So you once you get that in that system in your mind, then you can prepare to do what you have to do to get what you need to.
Right. It's very simple. We've heard this time and again. Even our grandmas had it right. We're looking for here's the general prescription that most people fall into. We're having 3 to 4 meals a day.
Yeah.
We're gonna have them generally about 3 to 5 hours apart. We want to eat enough food to get you to the next time you're gonna eat again. We want to consider having some lean protein sources, plentiful amount of vegetables, some fruit, little starch, little fat. And when we start creating that, and we have a back end system of how that gets produced for us, whether it is you sitting in the kitchen on Sunday and prepping everything and having containers. Some people can do that. They have some time or bandwidth, others don't.
Right.
Or you have food come in or you have someone prepare it. We have a way to communicate to those people to prepare the meal that's going to actually be more wholesome and meet your needs. Yeah. So when you get to the end of the day, you've been energized enough. You've balanced out your blood sugar levels. You've had consistent energy. There's no slumps because you skipped breakfast. You over caffeinated. You had fast food because it was easy and convenient, and it just jammed the blood sugar levels up like a roller coaster, and then comes right back down, and then you're wanting to take a nap at 3 o'clock.
Oh, boy.
That's usually if someone's sleepy around 2-3 o'clock, it's because they didn't get adequate amounts of sleep, or they've self-induced it in some way, and the food choices that they picked for themselves,
right?
I believe.
And you mentioned fast food, and there's a lot of fast food places around, but not a lot of healthy fast food choices,
right.
And that's an issue. And then people talk about even the difference between buying healthy in the grocery store, like whatever it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's more expensive for the healthy choices.
Well, yes and no. I'm not here to break down like the cost per amount of this product versus that product, but in general, what do we know about grocery shopping, period? You should grocery shop on the outside, right? Number 2 is that we can look for, if you needed, say the expense piece was an issue, you're looking to maximize savings, coupons, sales, and leverage like grocery, like freezer space in your house to have food and buy it in quote bulk to have it available, so then you can prepare it days from now. You don't need to buy fresh everything and watch it spoil. That's expensive.
That it is.
That is expensive.
Very expensive.
So we can have things that are fresh or frozen or even canned in a sense if you were at home, and how we can put those things together in more convenient manners to have adequate portions for you. But also you can go to McDonald's and get out of there alive in a sense with getting something that certainly the salad kind of falls into place with this, if you want to call it a salad. But the first thing that kind of comes to mind is the Egg McMuffin.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've got protein in the egg, and we have some protein in the Canadian bacon, a little bit of protein in cheese that's mainly fat, and it's American. Then you have some butter that they put on it, which you could ask for no butter and no cheese, and all of a sudden you save yourself over 100 calories. But and then the muffin itself is just an English muffin. So you have that in totality at least on on McDonald's.com website, it's 300 calories.
Okay.
So you could have an Egg McMuffin and use that as part of your strategy in the morning to go. You take an apple with you and you have a 400-ish calorie meal that will hold you to a lunch.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get the 2 for noodles because
one
now
now,
you're
one for later.
you're getting a lot more calories, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're prioritizing a lot more carbs and those calories in general because of the bread itself for sure. So it just ends up that's not a good choice, but
Right.
you could do that.
But you can come out of there live.
Yes, yeah.
I like that.
And they've made things so much now where there's a lot of ways we can substitute stuff and still be able to eat that meal.
Right.
You know, like flour. There's another. I bought it. I can't tell you the name because I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's supposed to, like, you know, when you're cooking, you make a roux and you're making a sauce. So instead of me using flour, let me research and find out what other options are out there. So when I'm shopping, I just bought coconut flour. Now, I don't know how good or bad it is, but it was different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We use coconut oil. We use a lot of olive oil instead of using vegetable oil.
Right.
So there's just a lot of things. One of the things that I find since I've been on my own personal journey and talking to other people, I know people have a lot more of the issue that people don't want to cook, or the grocery shopping is a lot harder for them and they can't really contemplate. Yes, I went through the same thing, trying to find an easier way to shop or eat. And what it really boils down to at the end of the day is that, yeah, we could do fast food, but what's better for you?
Yeah. And then too, just thinking about, mentioning the cost of the healthier options, right? Think about if you don't do that, the cost of the medications, the doctor's visits, the health issues on the other side.
The time cost in and of itself is incredibly expensive, and people don't realize that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
and then not to mention you gotta pay for the doctor visit too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know about you.
Yeah,
but
I'll
my-
pay that extra for those peas or whatever, you know.
I'm spending a premium to have a high deductible on my insurance for them to cover nothing because I'm generally healthy and I don't go to the doctor. So it's like many zeros leaving my bank account every year to have insurance not really help me in and of itself. So, but I had when we initially talked like 3-4 weeks ago about setting this up, I had a sore throat. I couldn't talk. It's like whispering and
I remember we was on the phone.
Like, I hope this is better by the time we scheduled this.
Oh, you good?
But yeah, we're good now. But I went into the doctor and it was $200.
Wow.
For them to say, well, you don't have strap, but we're going to test you just to rule it out. And that was a $50 charge on top of it and stuff. But that was just what the system is. So, we're not here to talk about that. But one more thing on the grocery shopping is I find that people learn about nutrition in 2 different ways. Generally speaking, you learn it from your parents, right? Spending 18 years or whatever watching them and they're molding you around what they learned from their parents.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the second one is marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing is going to tell you what is good or bad. I'm 41, dating myself there, but how many years has Tony the Tiger tell us how great CrossFit Race is?
That's a good
right?
one, yes.
It's been a long time.
Or what's the other one? Fruit of Loop?
Oh, yeah. Fruit Loops, all the what they call kid cereals, which just doesn't make any sense either because kids should definitely not be eating that stuff. It's not very good for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the sugar and just the empty calories and the impact that it'll have on their long-term health and addiction to sugar. So, but so we have those 2 cornerstones of that, whether how much did your parents spend on living an active, healthy lifestyle? What were your observation of them? I took on a client just recently and she talked about one parent was super restrictive, the other parent was completely opposite and was obsessive and excessive in their choices in the way they lived. And it can be confusing for a child. How do I find this middle ground here? Whereas I had another client, her parents told her that there were strawberries and Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
because it was on the front of the box.
Right. Those are not strawberries.
No, and it has, and I do believe on the box it says real. I believe I think
but
it
we're not
says
going to find
real,
one whole
but you're
strawberry
not
in a
gonna-
whole
yeah.
Pop-Tart.
I never saw a strawberry in it at all.
Right. And one more thing on just the cost, in a sense, is going to that marketing. There's an example I'll share with people to help them open them up to understanding just better choices at the grocery store. Is oatmeal, and we have regular oatmeals in the silo, and the other comparison is Kodiak cake oatmeal. Now, they've done wonderful at their marketing in the previous years, right? We all three know what Kodiak cakes are. The protein pancakes and the protein muffins and oats.
Yeah.
Well, when we look at this was off of Walmart.com as a comparison. This was pre-COVID pricing, so it's probably up per ounce. But the silo of oatmeal was 6.1 cents per ounce, whereas the Kodiak cakes branded oatmeal in the packets were 45 cents per ounce. There's only 7 more grams of protein in the serving of Kodiak cakes over the old-fashioned oats. I don't think you're getting 7 grams worth is worth 40 cents more per serving or whatever ounce. That's expensive.
Yeah.
And that's because you see Kodiak cakes, you see the word protein oatmeal, and you automatically assume this is, quote, healthier.
Better
so your
for you.
perception about health, what health is or is not, is impacted by society or marketing or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then you buy the Kodiak cakes that are exponentially more expensive, and you're like, well, healthy food's expensive.
Yeah.
If you go to the grocery store, you buy eggs, you buy lean proteins, and you get them on sale. You get some produce, fresh or frozen or even canned. You get your whole grains like oats, and you get rice, potatoes, beans. You can walk out significantly cheaper than buying a bunch of stuff that's in a box.
Right.
Yeah.
And none of that stuff is in a box. It might be in a container or package of some sort, right? Technically a box of it if it was, or a bag. My frozen broccoli's in a bag.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's not this branded food that is already leveraged and done the math for decades to make sure that they're squeezing every penny out of that product from who they're selling it to.
Yeah. Someone I saw someone made a point about, even if you go to, like you talked about, the corner store or whatever it is, and you look at the drink section, right?
Oh, yeah.
So all of the the fruity drinks and everything with the sugar and all that, they have these beautiful, colorful, labels on them, but the water just
Terrible.
doesn't even look like anything to attract you to it.
Water's free, but people are gonna pay $1 or $2 a bottle.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
expensive.
I do buy the more expensive water.
Oh yeah.
Just because some of that water, I find out what I like the best. I will buy it just because if it's good, like alkaline water.
Yeah.
I love alkaline water. But there are different kinds of alkaline water, and they all don't taste the same.
Yeah. See,
It's
I wouldn't
weird.
be able to tell because, and then that's speaking of water. Before we jumped on, I mentioned about me not drinking enough water, right? And I ended up having to get the Circle bottle, which infuses my water with some flavor. So I'm doing what I got to do, to get to
And I'm
drink
okay
more
with it.
water.
Yeah, definitely. We can flavor it, or if we have to do even the best alternative is going from someone drinking a full calorie sugar beverage to a diet. It's 0 calorie. So yes, that's the next best step. Is that like the best, healthiest step? Well, I can get this person to take this small step to move them in the right direction, to ultimately then continue to encourage and persuade them why they should be drinking more water. And that's oftentimes, because again, if someone's overwhelmed with too much, they're not going to do anything. If they're overwhelmed with a lack of clarity on what they're supposed to do, they're not going to do anything. If they have too many hop, skips, and jumps, they're not going to do it. So how do I get this person to take the next best step to move them in the process of better health for themselves or better choices in this particular moment now? Because this is the present. This is where we're living. How do I make sure that I'm getting them to choose better now and equip themselves with that even trust in themselves to make the right choices for themselves?
Yeah. And you keep saying calories, right? So the average person, right, what's like the amount of calories that we need, I guess, or
so
you know what I'm saying?
Intake
on a daily basis.
I see anecdotally, and certainly any calorie calculator online isn't necessarily going to give you the best feedback for you what your goals are. So you could go on to the Google and do calorie calculator and go through that, and it isn't necessarily going to give you the feedback. The only way that I've found doing this and listening to a significant amount of content on other coaches that are coaching in the similar capacity of changing people's body composition for the better is through trial and error, through tracking and paying attention. And in 2 to 3 weeks, this is the formula that I use. This is it. It's very simple.
Secret, y'all. Come on now.
This is the secret, okay? It's, if anything that I've said seems too simple or logical, it's because I've explained this too many times, and this is the boiled down process or the product of it all. Is I move this much, I eat this much. This is what my body does.
Yeah.
It's a very easy thing to think about. So if I'm consistently consuming a certain amount of calories, and we could go off on a tangent. I was listening to something just from Dr. Huberman on, I'm sure you've seen him all over YouTube and stuff, right? The Huberman Labs and stuff. But he had a gentleman that was talking about calories on calories, and he gave all these reasons why with absorption rates and the breakdown in the body and how metabolically active it makes your body. Like proteins cost a lot more calories than fats. So we're not going to jump into all that, but in general, when we are consistently eating and consuming a certain amount of calories, so this kind of answers the question you posed before, is like, how do we manage plateaus? You're like, hey, these are things that I've experienced or other people have experienced in the journey. So with that, we want consistency. So there's consistent amount of consuming this certain amount of calories and that system around protein and vegetables and starch and some fruits and a little bit of fat. We move a certain amount, like the 10K steps, and ideally, if you work out 3 days a week, I just think for the rest of your life, you're gonna be more fit or more consistent than most human beings ever. Certainly, we can't compare that to our great grandparents who were a lot more physically active just because life was a bit harder. Right? That's what they got their everyday activity. But for our society, you need to go do some constructive, structured exercise activity, whether it's just walking or getting in the gym, whether you're a personal trainer. I've got clients that have trainers. They go to Orange Theory. They do CrossFit. They've got their own gym. They got someone coming over or flying with them and stuff. But ultimately, they need to have that structure by doing it a couple of days a week to build and maintain some muscle mass and metabolism and burn calories away. But when we see that consistency, the calories, the movement, then we get the results in the body. So the scale, the visuals in the mirror, the circumference measurements, your clothes. You certainly could use a smart scale or do an in-body scan or something like that to then reflect back on what happened the last week. And we're looking for 7 to 10 days to analyze body progress, not I didn't eat today and tomorrow I'm going to step on the scale and it's going to go down.
Right.
Or, hey, why didn't I lose 10 pounds this week? Well, if you lost 10 pounds this week, in my experience, you're doing it wrong. That's not human behavior. That's not how the body responds to weight loss. That's doing something excessive that then can have some backlash. Like we the classic one from however many decades ago is just cut out carbs.
Right.
And then, so you cut them out, and then at some point that pizza calls your name or it falls in your mouth or something, and then you eat it.
In your mouth.
and because you've avoided it or something, and then all these carbs and water come and get stored back and get replenished in your body, and you're like, oh, I'm failing. I just gain 5 pounds overnight. And it's not even that you gain body fat. It's just your body's holding on to more carbs and water. And if someone doesn't understand some of the science behind that, that sends them into making not the best decisions for a certain amount of time and then gaining some weight back. And then all of a sudden 3 weeks or 3 months or years later, they then decide to take some more action and they're fed up to a point again of, I don't look and feel the way I want to. What should I do about this? And I need to go find some help. Would be the best way to go do that.
Right.
So
So really, it's all about. First of all, I need to get a scale. Everybody out there, if you don't have a scale, get yourself a scale.
Well, at the very least, your pants generally should fit you for a decade or two.
Right.
I mean, ultimately, you should be in the same pant. Now, we don't need to say go to the 1950s and have the quote BMI scale, and you need to be at my body weight. I'm 6 foot, about 185, 190 or so. The BMI scale is going to put me in the overweight category.
Right.
I hope that you both would not consider me overweight.
Right. No.
I'm not sure what other weight I could really lose here. But we wouldn't be going off of like BMI. That's just antiquated way to go about this. But the body fat but again, you do or don't necessarily need a scale. Sometimes a scale can pose challenges, especially for like type A driven type people. They can see that number and it can be very self-defeating and then cause more stress and cortisol and challenge and harder things that they need to like triple down now because of that. And that isn't necessarily always the answer.
That's wild because you don't even think about that. It's like, so really, we need to get with Brian here because it's a science to it. You have to have systems in place to do the things, right? So I'm gonna hit you with this last question that you have here, and we're gonna go into a few more other things. But what's one client story that has impacted your journey in your career?
Excellent. I have one lady. Her name is Dana, and she came on board, and she had her business. She had young kids, and it was busy. She didn't feel comfortable in her clothes. In fact, she was having to buy bigger ones. There was not a lot of self-confidence. A couple weeks in, we realized that the social situation wasn't as supportive as she had thought it was initially. Gave her guidance, coaching, education, insights, just by asking questions and engaging with her. Started to see this person start blossom, this inner confidence coming out and their self-esteem just rising out. And all of a sudden, opportunities are showing up for her. Her social situations are shifting. The type of things that she's used to tolerate, she's not tolerating anymore. Oftentimes, people tolerate a lot of negativity in their life. Even if, we're on all these social medias, the people watching this, they could be tolerating things that they don't want to see in their social media that causes them stress or strain, but they're still swiping or consuming, or here's this 45-second short or whatever, and they're watching it. Next thing you know, an hour goes by and they feel worse.
Yeah.
Like, why are we following these? Why are we putting ourselves out there to consume and have that soak into you in a sense?
Right.
So we want positivity, and you want things to bring laughter and joy, and that's what we started doing with Dana. So creating this environment where she had a lot of structure on her food, around her movement. It gave her energy. She was impacting her children. They were younger. They were both under 10, and she was much more of a mother. She spent time with them instead of just being around.
Right.
It just gave her so much more life. And this came out of, say, personal training, where I was just counting reps essentially. And that's kind of way back 9 years ago. I was in the personal training and gym type experience, working with people, and certainly help motivating and change lifestyles through exercise and activity.
Right.
but I didn't have the understanding or the appreciation of the nutrition stuff. So she comes along and I start seeing all these changes and these questions and these engagements we're doing. And I was like, wow, this is really exciting. Like can change someone's world just through powerful questions and getting them to think differently and changing some of their mindset, their outcomes of what they're wanting to have in their life in the present, but also what they're willing to do in the future to create what it is. If you're not creating, in a sense, you're dying. Right. This is what you do. Is if you don't create a show, it's going to be crickets. Right. Right. You're like, so it was, and so even let's go back to the quit for what is the undertone of pushing through the perseverance of the challenges that you face to create a better outcome, a better lifestyle, and just look better, feel better, better confidence. That's how we want to live life.
Yeah.
So that was Dana. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, I like this. I like talking to people instead of counting reps or just the personal training was great. I could engage with people, but okay, so what's the next exercise? So it's just this is disconnected, disjointed.
Yeah.
There's more to it. So we think about, watch what you eat is watch what you watch and what you listen to as well.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because that plays a factor.
How are you filtering the things that are coming into your life?
Yeah, you hit a good one when you were saying how, and it just made me think like what we eat does affect our lifestyle.
Yep.
How we move every day. So if we go and get them burgers and the fries, you know what's going to happen after that.
Yep.
But if we just opt to get a salad or maybe a lighter kind of meal, you move around a lot faster. You can still continue your day. You don't feel like taking a nap because I'm a napper.
As soon as these eyeballs go open, what do I need to do today? There's no napping.
Right.
Yeah. So it makes a big difference. I've even noticed that at work because at my job, they order out almost all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to say I didn't partake. What I am saying is when you buy the food and you get it, you're tired right afterwards.
I call that power of choice. So you're choosing your experience around the food that's coming to you. Right. So you're choosing to let this person choose the restaurant and some other person make the food for you around the choice that you made or were influenced by the marketing, the daily special, the past influence of like, oh, my mom, whatever. And then you bring that, right? We talked about the parents influencing us.
Yeah.
So then you make these choices and then it might feel good in the moment, but then it doesn't necessarily feel good.
Don't feel so great afterwards.
Right. I always say the simplicity of eat what you pack. Pack a lunch, take it with you. It'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
I had a guy just the other day I talked to. This gentleman was spending a significant amount of coin on DoorDash.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
He and his girlfriend, and they've been gaining weight, and it's like, oh man, dude, I'm gonna pay for myself here for my own services. Just getting you off of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's why
it's a challenge, especially if you've been doing it for so long. And sometimes even when you make the decision to do it and you got yourself prepared, you may actually even find yourself, because it became so repetitious that you've been going, this is what I do every day, this is where I go, because I did it. Find myself going to Burger King. And I was like, why am I in the line? Didn't even realize till I got in the line, like, not supposed to be eating this.
Right.
Yeah.
Going off of one of your earlier points, go interview your friends or have Ramon interview your friends. Who's Kim? And then they're going to call out who you are and who you're showing up in the present.
Yeah.
Are you positive or negative? Do you have energy or no? Do you want to be active or are you sedentary? Do you try to be healthy or not so much? Do you eat healthy foods? Do you not? Do you want to go out and hang and party, or do you just sit on the couch or whatever? And they will define what they see, and then you'll all of a sudden you have all this reality coming at you of how your your persona and your energy is getting radiated out and how people are receiving it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the, seeing my kids in another 1 to 5 decades when I'm gone, that they have fond memories, and it links to being active, to being engaging, to traveling, to, our traveling. I've carried multiple kids all the time on hikes and different things to go experience, the Utah license plate. We were out at the Arches February, almost a year ago. That was a 3+ mile round trip. And I'd had piggybacks here and shoulders, one on shoulders there, and all this to help. But that increases the experience and the bonding and the connection and all that, because I'm taking care of myself and I can help them go experience cool things. Yeah.
So let's circle back. We going over a little bit. That's fine. This is a good conversation. The CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
Right. So you own a CrossFit gym?
I did, and then I just kind of moved on.
You moved on from there.
Right.
Okay.
It was Dana. So it's like, oh my gosh.
Right.
I don't need to do Hey, do some push-ups and burpees or something, and let's do back squats to change someone's life, even though I have with that. And that was a tool or a way to go about that. But then, just having conversations. Yeah. You give me a couple weeks so we can start making some big impact.
There you go. So Dana did it.
Dana did it. I've seen people lose weight, of course, but they become empowered by the inner confidence that's come out. They have better relationships. They break up. I had one guy just quit a $250,000 job.
Wow.
A year, because he was so stressed that he had gained a certain significant amount of weight. He was in Nashville managing 9-10 figures of real estate and architecture investments for the company. So like $100 billion worth of assets.
Wow.
And this guy had to sign an FDIC thing that he's not gonna, he's responsible for all the money. He had excessive blood pressure. So I
can imagine his stress.
The stress, and then he's eating out, and he has this fast and St. Furious lifestyle. He had a Shelby GT Mustang, and I talked to him. He's like, Brian, I'm an F-150 guy. I said, hey, why are you driving around in a Mustang then?
Right. Yeah.
So he sold it, and he bought an F-150.
Yeah.
And it's more of him. It's getting back to who he is.
He got his health together.
So talking to people has really been transformative for me, for them. And it's really exciting when people are just all in on it.
So that's what's up. So this is quit for what? So if you're going to quit for something, quit for your health. Okay. Yes. Do something to make it better for you, for your family, for your business. You know what I mean? And I'm going to ask you, I'm pretty sure you had some clients that quit or wanted to quit, even yourself. Have you ever thought about quitting what you do?
Yeah. Well, as a client this weekend, literally someone enrolled and then they just were overwhelmed after that choice to take the next step to bettering themselves. They just felt, oh wow, this is gonna be so hard, or they're gonna whatever started filling in the gap of, oh shoot, I'm saying yes to changing my life and my health. What did I just sign myself up for? And am I gonna have to count calories? I'm gonna have to go run a marathon. I'm gonna have to lift like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. And I say, hey, can we jump on a call real quick? And then just calm and just listened to what they said, slowed things down, got some breathing in there, and then you start hearing what some of those triggering events were, maybe from their past. It's like, hey, we don't need to track calories. That doesn't have to. That's just a tool in the toolbox to help with better portions or calories or food selection. Period. And so we were able to unwind whatever she had wound herself in. And then we had a fantastic phone call this morning. I really matched pace, I matched her energy, I matched what her goals were, because one person is high energy, go, go, go type A. The other person's type B, super laid back, chilled. And my job is come in and meet them and help them just get to the next step, and the next step and next step. So, that's what I do for them. And for me, quitting isn't really an option. Okay. Well, one, I really love what I do. It's a very ethical way to make money. Right? Help empower people to take better care of themselves, right? And then, if I drop a pebble in their pond, it ripples to those around them. So we got that. Then I have 4 kids. They're expensive. Then my wife, she loves to travel. The goal is you got to sleep in the state. We're going to do all 50 states. We're 41 deep. So we have an old map that has all these thumbtacks in it. The gold one is the first night in the state, then black are subsequent nights in different places. There's almost 100 dots on this map of just places we've stayed, not that we've even visited in the U.S. Then we did Finland and Costa Rica and London this year. We're aiming next maybe Japan or go to Hawaii again. So
there you go.
I can't quit. There's too much life to be lived.
I know that's right.
So it's everything's figure outable. We gotta be resourceful. You mentioned the story of me getting here.
Right.
So the podcast was my car just decided to stop last night. It's just like, we've had enough. And I'm driving, like, it kind of sounds weird, and driving, and then it sounds really weird, and all of a sudden power's coming down, and I was like, I better pull off the road. And I get into this parking lot, I barely get in a parking spot, and then it's like, boom.
That's
and
it.
Then so that happened at 6. And I'm supposed to get my daughter home to the home for dinner. And I got to get my son to fencing. And I have to go pick him up later. And there's another son swimming. And then there's my wife is trying to juggle that and make dinner. And we're doing all this stuff. And I'm on phone calls as well, is managing all this. That ended up getting resolved, towed at least by 9:30, 10.
Wow.
When I was able to get back to it. Then today I get up and I call them, and they're like, oh, we'll check it out. And I call them again and nothing. And then I call them again and nothing. I'm like, this is probably not good.
No. Right.
I drive over there because I just happened to pick the kids up, and I drive over and they're like, well, you can get a new engine or a new car.
You might as well get a new car.
Yeah, at $6,000, the better investment is just get something else. So the car is sitting in this the auto mechanics thing for waiting to hear from what we're going to do with it. And then I had to Uber over here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a ride and I wasn't going to cancel, right? We scheduled this weeks ago.
Right.
And I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what it takes to make sure things happen for myself, for you, right? What would you do tonight, right? You're like, I was supposed to talk with Brian and he canceled, and then that makes me look bad, and you look bad, and just wasn't going to have that. So I got an Uber over here. And
that's
then,
it.
So you just have to persevere. And it is exciting, but it's also not exciting to go buy a new car, or unplanned purchase of a new car, right? If you're like, I've been saving up for this and all this, we have a rainy day fund and all that. It's not a problem. The car will get handled. I'm not worried about that. But it's just like, we wanted to spend that money on Japan, not on a new car. I was happy with the cars, and because of 4 kids, I roll in 2 Honda Odysseys.
Whatever you got to do, it works.
It fits the family. We've rented a significant amount of cars when we've been on the road. No car, no van, not even the Expedition holds to what the Honda Odyssey can do for our family.
There you go. So listen, that's a prime example of quit for what.
Yep.
You did what you had to do to get here, and then too, like we've been talking, it's about your health and well-being. Anything that you want to do, you got to take care of yourself, right?
Yes.
Entrepreneurs, just people, period. You got to find a way to take care of yourselves.
You only have yourself when it's all said and done.
Right.
Yep.
But then, too, you take care of yourself is going to help you to take care of others, take care of your business, be able to show up and do what you got to do to make it happen. You know what I mean?
They depend on you.
That's it. So, Brian, we thank you so much for joining Quit for What.
Appreciate this.
love this conversation. It's been very, very good conversation. Let people know where they can find you. Because I have my friend Taylor Law said great information. My guy G Code is saying he got to get with you.
Yeah,
so where can people find you?
It's just my name.com. So brianparana.com is going to be the easiest way to get me. You're going to find me at Coach Brian Parana on a lot of socials.
Yeah.
I'm on all of them because you have to be these days. We were talking about that before. Like, well, I got to do the YouTube and the TikTok and the Facebook. And then different people hang out in different places. So you do want to show up for people to then help inspire and get them to take action and get them to move forward. So that's ended up being the ultimate easiest. There's an application form or like it's pretty easy to direct message me on Facebook or something.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll get my attention. Hey, Brian, I'm looking for some help.
There you go.
You call me by name. I was like, hey, okay, this person is interested. Let's have a conversation and seeing if I can help them out. And most importantly, it always has to be a good fit.
That's it.
So that's it. I'm not here to just sign anyone up that has a pulse and a paycheck or a wallet or something. It's got to be a great fit to work together. And it's not even about the knowledge or the understanding. It's about the commitment to themselves that they want, because I'm just here to facilitate the process of change with them when they decide that is time to change. And that's who I work with. People want to talk to me and they love talking to me because they've already decided to change, and any opportunity, the coaching, the engagement gives you the empowered tools to move forward and start creating a better life.
Right.
There you go.
So
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, y'all.
What's up?
So, hey, again, man, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Glad you were able to make it. The Uber got you here safely. We gonna get you back home safely.
Yes, exactly. Right.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Oh, for
we'll
sure.
have to do this here in maybe another 1 to 10 years.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, y'all. So thank everybody so much for watching, for sharing. We greatly appreciate y'all. And like we always do, next Tuesday from 8 to 9, Quit For What the Hangout. Please join us, all right? Like I always say, do what you got to do to make it happen. Don't give up. Quit for what? Until next time. Peace.